Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Japan Foundation London's online event. My name is Junko Takekawa, Senior Arts Program Officer of Japan Foundation London. Japan has a long tradition of craft making. From pottery to glassmaking and textile, most of them are appealing with their exquisite and delicate crafting, and most may require very long and dedicated training and practice to even reach a certain level. However, there are some crafts you may easily try and enjoy. One of the examples is Tsumami Zaiku. Having said that, I wouldn't underrate this craft work, and like other Japanese crafts, if you want to achieve high, you will need to practice a lot. I would say though, this is a craft you do not have to just watch and appreciate because it is an exotic craft from Japan, but rather you can pick up your tools and start trying it by yourself, even in the UK. Tsumami Zaiku is not just beautiful to see, but so versatile to use that you can apply to your daily life. Today, I am delighted to welcome Yamashita Tomomi, a Tsumami Zaiku official instructor from Japan. Ms. Yamashita has many experience in teaching how to make the basic Tsumamizaiku to non-Japanese visitors in Japan. Witnessing everybody join in a workshop simply enjoy learning to make the craft. After a brief lecture on Tsumamizaiku, Ms. Yamashita will demonstrate the basic steps in creating Tsumamizaiku, and if you have the right tools with you, you can try in front of the computer together. Here is a list of the tools just in case you have forgotten to bring any. Of course, it is totally okay just to watch her demonstration. It should still be fun. After Ms. Yamashita's presentation, Cora Fung, Sheffield-based Tsumamizaiku artist, will show you her work, proving that Tsumamizaiku is for everybody. I'd like to thank both of them for their time and sharing their skills and experiences. I'd like to extend my gratitude to Ms. Tezuka Kayoko, Tuning for the Future, for not only introducing this project to us, but help with the technical operation today. Next, housekeeping matters. Today's event will be recorded. As we are using the webinar function, your names will not be viewable by other attendees. However, I strongly recommend you to keep your audio video muted throughout just in case. If you have any question for the panelists, please use the Q&A function, not chat box, to send in question at any time. Remember that attendees' questions may be seen by everybody else so that you can avoid a particular question placed by another person which you would like to answer, or if it is the same as yours. Simply click the thumb up icon next to that question you wish to vote. Unfortunately, due to time logistics and restrictions, we may not be able to pick up all the questions you asked, so my apologies in advance. Lastly, as always, we will send you an online questionnaire, so please spare the short moment to complete it for the future event. It is very foggy and cloudy in London. I hope today's event gives some light in this dark winter, especially with COVID-19, and then also give some idea for your novelty Christmas present. I hope you enjoy today's event. Now I'm handing over to Yamashita-san to start her presentation. Yamashita-san, お願いします。
Hello, I'm Tomomi Yamashita, an official instructor of Tsumamizaiku. Thank you for joining today. I learned the skills from Tsumamizaiku Shokunin, the master craftsman who has been in this world for more than 60 years. I always wanted to share Japanese traditional things to the world and found out that Tsumamizaiku was the perfect craft. The reason is because tools and materials are simple, handy, and the basic technique is simple, even kids can try. Also, Tsumamizaiku is the only one Japanese traditional craft you can start from scratch and complete. So from 2016, I started some workshops to the tourists who visit Japan, and last year I launched Tsumami Kanzashi website to share all the information about Tsumami. And this year, I searched and contacted Tsumami artists like Cora, who will be showing up later, to liven up the craft. And now I'm planning to do some online events and class for next year. So let me introduce a little bit about Tsumami Zaiku by sharing some photos. Presentation will be about 10 minutes, and after that, I'll do a little demonstration of traditional tsumami technique. Those of you who have some materials ready, please join making. So stay tuned till the end of the webinar. I'm positively sure you'll enjoy. Welcome to the world of Tsumami Zaiku. Next. What is Tsumami Zaiku? Tsumami Zaiku is a traditional Japanese craft which has more than 200 years of history. It's a technique to make petals, flowers, birds, and so on. You may easily imagine Maiko's headdress, Tsumami Kanzashi. Next, please. Why is it called Tsumami Zaiku? Tsumami means to pinch, and Zaiku is mean of craft work. Just as the word describes, it's made by folding small squares of cloth like an origami using tweezers. Next. There are two basic techniques to make tsumami. One is called maru tsumami. Maru means round in Japanese. It's round and plump shape used to make cute petals. Another one is called ken tsumami or kakutsumami. Ken means sword in Japanese. Its shape is sharp like a sword. We arrange these two basic techniques to express many kinds of figures. Next, please. Here are some examples of marutsumami. Bird's feathers, wisteria, sakura, and many flowers. Next, please. Here are some examples of kentsumami. Margaret, pine leaves, crane tails, chrysanthemum, and snowflakes. Next, please. History of Tsumamizaiku. Although Tsumamizaiku has been a traditional craft for more than 200 years, there are less information of the history and technique because there's almost no literature left today. Therefore, accurate history of Tsumamizaiku have not been conveyed, but according to the literature, Women's Arts and Crafts of Tsumamizaiku, there is a very interesting story. In 1785, Lord Yasuteru, the handicraft lover, cut his wife's old kimonos, sharpened the tips of chopsticks, and created a way to fold two shapes, marutsumami and kentsumami. He was so involved in this craft, he decided to make kusudama, this round decoration, and gift it to the emperor. Next, please. It was decorated in a palace, and court ladies were so amazed by the craft. They began to imitate by cutting their own old kimonos and started making Tsumamizaiku by decorating a box. So, Tsumamizaiku has a spirit of sustainability, and it soon spread into the form of kanzashi, and in 1900s, it became an education for girls' school. But unfortunately, it's not taught in school now. Next slide, please. Tsumami kanzashi nowadays are used in the Japanese traditional entertainment world such as kabuki. This wig is for kabuki actor. Kabuki is a traditional Japanese performing art, consists of music, dance, and drama. Also, Maiko, Japanese young geisha performer, wears tsumami kanzashi. You may have chance to see Maiko when you visit Kyoto. Next, please. We also wear tsumami kanzashi for special occasions such as Shichigo-san, celebrating growth of 3, 5, 7-year-old children, coming of age date ceremony, and sometimes for wedding. It used to be worn in New Year's, but nowadays people don't wear kimono that often. It's now used in these kind of occasions. Next, please. Tsumami kanzashi is also made for dolls. Check out how small they are. This kanzashi is as small as a coin. Next, please. Around early 1900s, Tsumamizaiku artists created tsumami pictures, and it's now one of the style for Japanese picture art. The flowers and leaves are all made with tsumami. Next, please. There are now many Tsumamizaiku artists in Japan, and they each have their originality. This flower lamp, named Hanaakari, is made by one of the artists. All petals are made of Tsumamizaiku. Isn't it beautiful when the light turns on? Next, please. We Japanese each have family crest. One of the artists made family crest with Tsumamizaiku and started to take orders. I was so amazed by her idea and wanted to share this with you. Next, please. Tsumamizaiku can be arranged into daily accessories. Men also can wear them on suits like this. I recommend you to wear at the party. Next, please. How about using it for table decoration? It will be a new way to welcome guests. Next, please. Many fashion designers are interested in Tsumamizaiku. This traditional kanzashi was worn in 2016 Spring-Summer collection of Keita Maruyama, a famous fashion designer in Japan. Next, please. Aoyai is Vietnamese traditional dress. In 2018 and 19, Tsumamizaiku was collaborated with Aoyai designer Xu Huang. Many press came to this event. I believe Tsumamizaiku can collaborate more in the international fashion field. Next, please. Tsumamizaiku can be one of the traditional experience in Japan. I have been running workshops to the tourist who comes to Japan. Families, couples, friends, they all enjoy the craft. I always see smiles after they finish the craft. Next, please. So, as you recognize, there's no rules to enjoy tsumami. Colors, fabrics, and how to arrange everything is up to you and to your idea. You can create your original items with your imagination. Next, please. If you want to learn more about Tsumamizaiku, please visit this website. It has more and more details about tsumami, beautiful photos, about worldwide artists, and you can also find online shop Chirimen Bani to purchase materials and tools of Tsumami Zaiku. Next, please. So, are you ready to try? If you have prepared the materials, let's make marutsumami together. Before I get started, I need to inform you that it may be complicated for beginners to follow and complete making a flower. So please challenge making just a petal to have little fun. Please wait while I prepare my demonstration. Thank you. So I'll do a basic demonstration of traditional Tsumami Zaiku. We'll be making one simple flower by using marutsumami technique. This is the very basic which beginners can enjoy. Please prepare materials if you have. First, I'll introduce about tools we use. Tweezers, the most important tool. Used to pinch and fold cloth. What is different from the normal tweezer is the tip is very thin and surface is very smooth, since we fold small squares of cloth. Starch glue. It used to be made of rice, but now majority is made of flour, and you can purchase this in Japan now. This glue is very thick and has less moist. Hope you can see this. And wood board to spread glue. This is cypress wood. Make sure to wet the board with water before use. This will keep the glue from drying out. If you don't have a wooden board, you can replace by using cutting board or something hard and flat. Bamboo spatula to spread and knead glue. We use bamboo because it's flexible and easy to knead. You can replace by using butter knife. Materials to make tsumami. Since we'll be making this 5 petals of marutsumami, five pieces of cloth. This is called chirimen, silk crepe in very traditional cloth. And we also have, where is it? I'm sorry, I can't find. There's another traditional cloth. It's called habutai. And if you make with chirimen, it comes out like this. And when you make it with habutai, it's more delicate. It's very thin silk, but it's difficult to use for beginners. So I'll make chirimen using chirimen today. So I believe it's hard to prepare Japanese traditional cloth. You can also use like cotton or linen or silk. Almost natural, all the natural fibers are okay to work with. But I recommend cotton because it's easy to use. and cardboard base to put tsumami petals. When making kanzashi, we use wired base so that you can bind flowers together like this. And we bind this with silk cord. So let's prepare by kneading glue. With the bamboo spatula to moist starch glue. Take out some starch glue on the wood board and pick up the wood and start kneading by spreading the glue on the wood board. Just go back and forth till it gets smooth and shiny. You need to keep on kneading for about 10 minutes, but since we don't have that much time today, I have already prepared this glue. So once it gets soft, like this, you gather this glue into a pile and with the bamboo stick, you spread the glue even on the wood board. Those of you who have starch glue, please spread on what you have. Then, now, are you ready to pinch and fold? Let's start making marutsumami. I'll do same thing 5 times because there's 5 petals. Those of you who have tweezers and starch glue, follow me when you are ready to challenge. Those of you who only have a cloth, please watch this process for now. I'll teach you how to fold with your fingers later. So, hold tweezers like a pencil. Using your thumb and index finger, you pinch the cloth like this. By the way, I'm left-handed. So pick up the cloth and corner comes to the top. Flip up and make triangle. Turn sideways, pinch toward this corner, a little bit above the corner, and fold towards yourself. And pinch the tip, release tweezers, and make small triangle. Now pinch little bit above this corner here, and single layer comes to the top, double layer comes at the bottom, and use your index finger, push up the bottom two, and make sure this top 3 layers are all equal. And slide to the tip and gently release tweezers. Then you can see one petal of marutsumami. Now, pinch the petal. Make sure the tweezer is parallel to the top layer. And this bottom part will be soaked into the glue. So just soak in all the way to the glue. And when the glue is on the tweezer, please wipe off the glue each time and always keep tweezers clean. Now, I'll do this 4 more times to make petals. Again, corner comes to the top, flip up and make triangle. Turn sideways, pinch toward the corner, a little bit above the corner, and fold towards yourself. Pinch the tip, release tweezers. Pinch little bit above this corner here. Single layer comes to the top, double layer comes to the bottom of the tweezer. Use your index finger, push up, slide your fingers to the tip, and release tweezers. And you see another petal. Pinch the petal. Tweezer should be parallel to the top. And this bottom part will be soaked into the glue. So leave a little bit space and soak in to the one you made first. Okay, again, corner comes to the top, flip up and make triangle. Turn sideways and pinch toward this corner, a little bit above the corner, and fold towards yourself and pinch the tip, release tweezers, and make small triangle. Pinch little bit above this corner here. Single layer comes to the top, double layer comes to the bottom. Use your index finger, push up, and slide your finger to the tip, release tweezers. And third petal. Pinch the petal, make sure tweezers are parallel to the top layer, and leave a little bit space between and soak in to the glue. Again, corner comes to the top, flip up, and make sure to match the corner. It's a tip to make beautiful tsumami petals. Turn sideways, pinch toward this corner, a little bit above the corner, fold towards yourself, pinch the tip, release tweezers. Pinch a little bit above this corner here. Single layer comes to the top, double layer comes to the bottom. Use your index finger, push up, slide to the tip, gently release tweezers. Pinch the petal. Tweezers should be parallel to the top. And soak into the glue. And the last petal, corner comes to the top, flip up, and make triangle. Turn sideways, pinch a little bit above this corner, fold towards yourself, pinch the tip, release tweezers. Pinch a little bit above this corner, single layer comes to the top, double layer comes to the bottom. Use your index finger, put it in between the bottom two, push up, slide to the tip, release tweezers. Pinch the petal. Make sure that tweezers are parallel to the top. And soak in to the glue. So all petals are dipped into the starch glue. So you need to rest this for a while, and the time depends on the cloth you use. For chirimen, it maybe take about 10 minutes to 20 minutes to absorb into the for the glue to absorb into the cloth. And when you use cotton, it may take more, about 20 to 30 minutes. So while we rest the petals into the glue, let's make tsumami with your fingers. Those of you who have cotton cloth or any kind of cloth, please prepare the cloth and woodworking glue. Now, take out the glue and put the glue a little bit on the top corner. Hope you can see this. And put some little bit of glue on right and left side of the corner, so 3 corners. And if the cloth is more than 4 centimeters, by the way, I'm using 5 centimeters of cloth today. You may want to add the glue in between the corners. So glue will be on this corner, this corner, this corner, and in between. So 5 dots. Then fold into triangle and stick and make triangle figure like this. Then either side is okay. Bring up the side to the top corner and stick the corner. And do the same thing for the other side. Bring up and stick them together. Then you'll see square. Now, fold this into half and pinch the tip. Then you can make one tsumami. Can you see? This hand making tsumami is not traditional. It's just for fun. And you can make big flowers, tsumami flowers like this. But if you want to make small ones, I recommend to do it traditional way. So you can make petals and make a round cardboard base, and you can combine to make flowers like this. Now, let's go back to the traditional way. Next process, we'll put all 5 petals on this circled base. So you need glue on top of this base. So take a little bit of glue and spread this even on the base, like this, a little bit thick. And how to pick up the petals from the wood board. When you see the petals from the side, you'll see left side and right side for each petal. Since Marutsumami is very plump and round shape, you don't want to ruin this shape. You pick up this right side only. So pick up the right side and it comes out like this, but don't panic. Then the left side and place on the base like this. And just keep on doing, just put all 5 petals anti-clockwise. So same thing, pick up the right side, land left side, and place it on to the base. Pick up the right side and anti-clockwise, put the petal next to the one you put. Then pick up the right side again and paste it on to the base. Pick up the right side and place onto the base. So all 5 petals are on the base now. Now how to arrange this. All petals should be facing the center, so you adjust with your tweezers and try to align the center. Every petal should be facing the center. And you look from the back, make sure that all petals are sticking out at the same pitch. And look at the side. Make sure that each side is aligned. And please wipe off the glue when glue is on the tweezer. And by pinching gently like this, you tuck into the center. To make round and plump petals. So At the end, I will put the flower core and can you see? This is made of wire. This is a thread covered wire, and this is very traditional flower core. You wind this and make a flower core, and put some glue and put it on the center, and you finish. I believe you don't have this kind of cord. You can replace it for pearl beads or something. So when you use starch glue, you need a whole day to dry. So when you make kanzashi, you need minimum of 2 days. For first day, you'll make many kinds of flowers and dry for 1 day, and then bind it and make into kanzashi, arrange into kanzashi. So how was it? It may be challenging for the first time, but once you get to know the process, it's easy. So this simple tsumami can be arranged into Christmas decoration like a garment or even a napkin folder like this. So in this stay-at-home situation, Tsumamizaiku can be one of the hobby you can enjoy with your family. Thank you so much for paying attention. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yamashita, about that fantastic demonstration. And hope you enjoyed it. And now, actually, moving on to that, the Cora Fan, Sheffield-based, Tsumamizaiku artist, who can actually demonstrate, how you can do it outside, well, talk how you can do it after and outside of Japan. So please welcome Cora Fan. お願いします。
はい、お願いします。Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Yamashita-san, for her brilliant demonstration, and I hope everyone had fun so far. Thank you for joining this online seminar today, and thank you, Japan Foundation London and Yamashita-san, for inviting me to today's event. So my name is Cora, and I am a Tsumami Zaiku artist based in Sheffield, UK. And today I'll be sharing my experience practicing Tsumami Zaiku as a foreigner outside of Japan. And towards the end, I'll be showing you a few things that I've made throughout the years to show you my progress in skills and design. And hopefully my story may help you to start practicing the craft as well. So let's go. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so just a little bit about myself. I have been practicing Tsumamizaiku since 2016. And for the past few years, I have been selling under the name Takara Crafts. And I've been selling my accessories and artwork online, in craft fairs, in pop-ups and local shops. And sometimes I also get commissions where I create custom-made items for my customer. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so apart from working as a maker, the craft also led me to some very interesting opportunities. So I have demonstrated in Millennium Gallery Sheffield in my yukata and my lousy hair. I also had run a few workshops around Sheffield and had some of my artwork exhibited in art shows. So it's not an overstatement to say that the craft has changed my life, and I am so grateful that I found Tsumami Zaiku. Next, please. So speaking of finding Tsumami Zaiku, I first learned about the craft when I saw a blog post about geisha hair accessories. And before this, I had no knowledge about the craft and I had no artistic training whatsoever. But despite all that, I was immediately attracted and I was determined to learn the craft. It's difficult to explain the instant attraction, but if I were to sum it up in a word, it would be perfection. The shape, the colors, the texture, the composition, everything just falls into place. And as I got into the craft more and more, I found that I was especially drawn to the delicate texture of a finished piece. And this level of intricacy is a result of hours of concentration, effort, and attention to detail. So to summarize, I think the charm of Tsumami Zaiku is it comes from the excellent craftsmanship, and it inspires me to practice more and more every day. Can we have next slide, please? Okay, so when I decided to learn the craft, so I live abroad and no one's teaching me, so I have to find some learning resources that I can fall back to. With the internet, it's easy to find tutorial videos and blogs. At the time, most of the learning materials I found were recorded or written in Japanese. But I think nowadays English materials are also readily available. So the tutorials I came across mainly talked about the basic folding techniques and how to put together a flower. They were, excuse me, they were quite enough for complete beginners, and they're very easy to follow. So with the two techniques, you can already make quite a range of flowers. So you can make smaller things like plum blossom and asters, or you can make bigger flowers like chrysanthemum. These free tutorials, they're usually, because they're catered to Japanese audience, so they will show you the materials they use, but they wouldn't really talk about like what things you can use to instead of the things that they're using. Apart from the internet, I also bought some books on Tsumami Zaiku, and I find them very informative, and they cover a lot of the areas that you need to know. So if you ever go to Japan and you can read Japanese, then like I really recommend that you get some books and as well as some materials for the craft. Next, please. So I appreciate that you can't always go to Japan, right? And like now you can't go anywhere. And it would be difficult to find the materials that you will need. One possible way is to use a proxy buyer service, but that could be very expensive and you'll be charged with like import tax and all that. So it would be a lot more cost effective if you can find alternatives in where you live. So tools can be substituted rather easily. Tweezers, I'll use watchmaker tweezers, and for the glue board, I had a small chopping board. It's just an IKEA chopping board, a very small one, and it works just fine. And they're very good alternatives to have. Next, please. Finding the right fabric is a little bit more complicated. So in Japan, usually people use chirimen or habutae to make the flowers. But when I just started learning, I didn't have any access to these type of fabric. Also, I had no knowledge in textile at all. So I just used anything I could find in the local fabric store. But as I used more variety of fabrics, then I realized not only does the type of fiber matters to the craft, the thickness of the fabric is also very important. And from my experience, fabrics that are on the thicker side and fibers that are not easily creased, like polyester, that kind of thing, they're not very suitable for the craft. I think lightweight cotton is a great fabric to use if you can't have chirimen or habutae. Next, please. So sometimes it is impossible to find a substitute, and in that case, you need to make your own. If you want to go the traditional route, then you need to make your own rice glue. Making rice glue is a little bit too long and complicated to explain today. I have written a blog post about this, and it's on the event page. So please, if you're interested, then please go there and have a look. And it has got like all the details, like all the nitty-gritties, like how to make the glue and all that. But in short, if you mix in the right amount of rice flour and the right types of flour as well, then you can cook the mixture in water and you can get a rice glue. Next, please. Of course, I appreciate that it might be too difficult or too troublesome to make your own glue. So, but it's not the end of the world. You can still practice the craft by using an alternative method. So, you can use normal fabric glue and apply pressure onto the edges that you glue in. Then you don't need the rice glue in the glue board. It will take a while, but you can still create good results nonetheless. Next, please. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a few things that I've made throughout the years. Just to show you my progress. So these are the things that I made when I just started out, and the piece in the middle was the first thing I ever sold. At the time, I was following traditional patterns, so they were very simple and I mean very traditional in a way. Next, please. So after many hours of practice, these are the things I could make by the end of the year. And they are bigger pieces, but they're not complex in any way. It's very repetitive. It's still the same techniques that I used at the beginning. Next, please. So from the second year onwards, I started to adopt the basic petals and patterns to create a larger range of flowers, such as cherry blossom and kikyo. And when I became more familiar with the craft, I began to deviate a little, and I started making my own patterns. So I made Yorkshire rose and an angel wing. So these are more westernized designs and a bit more modern. Next, please. So apart from the usual accessories, I also explored ways of other ways of using the craft. So for example, I made a fascinator, I made hairpins and rings and other decorative items such as bonsais and bottles and picture frames. Next, please. So when I started creating more and more things, then I began to consider making something that's more original. So like most artists and makers, I started thinking about my own like more iconic designs. I explored the flexibility of the craft, and I created my own ocean themed items. So my biggest project to date is the crown. So it's shown in the top 3 pictures here. And the base is made of a series of waves, and then it's decorated with flowers and seashells. And all of them were made with fabric, with Tsumami Zaiku. It is still quite early, but I want to expand this collection and make other items as well. Next, please. So finally, here are the most recent work that I've done. So I recently learned how to use fabric paint to create a controlled gradation effect on the flowers. So now I can have a bit more depth to the flowers and also introduce more colors. Next, please. Okay, so that's all I got for today. I hope my experience had given you some inspiration and help you to get started wherever you are in the big wide world. And if not, I hope I at least told you a very cool story. So from here, I want to slightly deviate. I used to practice a Japanese martial art called Aikido, and I learned the concept called shuhari, and it says first you practice by repetition, and then you adapt the basics and improve, and finally you will gain the ability to create your own techniques. So the same principles can be found in Tsumami Zaiku, I think. So if you want to learn the craft, then yeah, keep practicing and you will find your way. So thank you very much for listening. And I would also again thank Yamashita-san for and the Japan Foundation for inviting me. If you want to find me on the internet, so my Twitter and Facebook handle is Takara Crafts. So it's TAKARACRAFTS. And my Instagram is a little bit different. It's takara.shafu. So yes, that really is all for today. So yeah, I'm very grateful that I could talk to everyone about this. That is just the thing I really love. And it's a bit early, but Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Cora, that was wonderful. I can't really believe that you only started since 2016 and just only 4 years. You
Yes.
reached that level. You must have done loads of practice, as actually you said, as a principal. Just keep practicing, practicing, practicing. Where is Yamashita-san? Yamashita-san.
Yes.
Okay, now we only have about 10 minutes or so for question time. I know that a lot of questions were given into the Q&A box, but I also believe that most of the questions have been asked during the presentation or demonstration. So I would like to kick off with some few questions. First of all, to Yamashita-san.
Yes.
You know that some Tsumami Zaiku, okay, everybody can take up, but I'm sure there is a still professional Tsumami Zaiku craftsman in Japan. How many people actually are there in Japan then?
Actually, the master craftsman shokunin is only about 15 people left.
All
And
right.
they're mostly over 70 years old because because we don't wear kimonos anymore, and tsumami kanzashi is nobody is buying them, so
Right. Okay.
that's the reason, and this is the reason why I want to spread this into the world, because I want to preserve this tradition.
And also that you actually demonstrated today how to make a marutsumami. There is another craft skill, kentsumami, which you didn't demonstrate, but it's actually part of it. Are there other way of tsumami skills, or just only a combination of marutsumami and then kentsumami? It's actually a question for both Cora and Yamashita-san. Obviously, Cora invented some other way of, pinching or making the Tsumamizaiku Cora, for example?
So I think it's very liberal in the way that it's basically origami with fabric. So I think the way of making it could change a little bit, and you can use both of them together to create the shape that you want. So it's very flexible and it's very liberal.
Right. Okay, Yamashita-san, what is your answer?
Actually, as I have said in the presentation, there's only two basic technique, but you can arrange and use two sides of cloth and make like a double layer, or you can fold in different ways, like Cora said, but the base is marutsumami and kentsumami.
Right. Okay. Although that in my actual impression is it's quite sort of environmentally friendly if you use the old clothes, and then recycle all the clothes and then using that Tsumamizaiku. But I think one of that audience asked that. Oh yeah, Stephen Orende asked that, seeing that Yamashita-san's that chopping board actually platform, wood board, where there's a loads of glues, maybe looking unnecessary for that amount, the glue. Why do you need to have so much glue amount on the board?
Well, actually, for just making 5 petals, you don't need that much glue. But I thought it's better to see. So like when you make lots of petals, you spread the glue all over this wood board.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So it depends on how much you make.
Right. Okay. Because you're doing that out of custom, I suppose, because you make
Yeah.
loads of Tsumami Zaiku at once. And
Yes.
also that's curious is that that's a cloth you use today. What's the size of it?
Sorry, I forgot to mention. It's 3.5 centimeters I used
Right.
today.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm
Sorry
sure
about
that you can choose whatever size of the
Yes.
cloth.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But for the beginners, I recommend about 3 centimeters.
3 centimeters. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, Cora, how did you start practicing it? Did you actually practice as Yamashita-san demonstrated? Making a pedals. Is that what you did at the beginning?
At the beginning, I wasn't, because I didn't want to. When I first started trying it, I don't want to like buy a lot of tools and gave up. So I just started like with my fingers and with like just normal craft glue, just to like learn how it's folded. And then I realized that's just not good enough, and then I started finding the tools that I need. Is although you can use fingers and just like practice as with a video or something, but it's actually best to have tweezers. So I would say if you're just starting, then yeah, just use your fingers and use a bigger piece of cloth. But if you decided that you're serious about this and you want to make like beautiful things, then I strongly recommend getting a pair of tweezers. Just watchmaker tweezers are very versatile stuff to get started with.
That's an interesting question from that Elizabeth Mitchell. I think that's actually a good point. What Yamashita-san made is predominantly flower by Tsumami Zaiku, but Cora started inventing into some waves or different kind of landscape or object or whatever. Is there any rules that you have to make that Tsumamizaiku for just a flower, or can you make animals or other figures by using a technique of Tsumamizaiku? Yamashita-san?
I think there's no rule for enjoying Tsumamizaiku, but most craftsperson
Traditional one, yes.
Yeah, traditional style. We don't make like animals and stuff like that, but to enjoy is it's really up to you. So I think you can create any kind of things and enjoy making tsumami.
Yeah. So what was the reason for Cora to start making some other shapes rather than just staying in the flowers?
I think I start making accessories to sell, and then I realized that not everyone likes to wear flowers. Like I can understand. So traditionally, yes, the craft is like tend towards making flowers, but I think like if we want want to use it in like modern sense, then I think we should branch out to look for other things that goes well with our everyday clothing. So I thought it would be great if I can find other things as well. And I mean, like in Japan, there is an artist who make family crest with Tsumami Zaiku. So I think me using the craft to make a Yorkshire roast is pretty much the same thing. It's just the shape is a bit different, but it's similar concept. So I don't think it's different, but I don't think it is that different in a way. Yeah.
Okay, just time is up. Just the last question is that, do you have any advice for those people who want to take up Tsumami Zaiku for, just it's a question for both of you, Yamashita-san and Cora. Yamashita-san first?
Excuse me, would you say
advice in
again?
taking start Tsumami Zaiku practice. Do you have any advice? Yeah.
Advice to start?
Yeah. For those beginners or whatever. Yeah.
Advice. Just follow the instruction and repeat doing the same thing repeatedly, because that's how you get to understand to make tsumami. So just keep on doing it.
Yes. Cora, and in addition to the advice, can you actually tell us also that for you, what is the most difficult part in creating Tsumami Zaiku as well?
I think for me is that I had no knowledge in that area. It's not just Tsumamizaiku, it's like fabric and the fiber and the glue and like the properties of it. So like the physical aspect of the materials. So that sort of thing will take a bit of time to find out. So you really have to start doing it in order to find what works and what doesn't, and the properties of each material and how they react. I think, it all boils down to keep doing it, like Yamashita-san said.
Well, thank you so much for both of you. That's all from us, because I'm sure we confined in a house due to the COVID-19, and you can find a time which you couldn't find a time otherwise, and just on the desk, and then watching some instruction at YouTube or website or whatever. So that's a time to actually take up some new skill. So I sincerely hope that today's session will give you some idea how to start Tsumamizaiku if you're a beginner, or if you are already started making it, give you some more idea how to embellish and then sort of enhance your skills. So thank you for watching, and then thank you both of you, Yamashita-san and Cora, sharing such a precious experience and idea, which is really useful. We still have a time before Christmas. We still have a time before making some small work for your friends or family, those who you love. So try up and then practice. That's all from me, and then thank you for watching. This is actually last online event for the Japan Foundation before Christmas, but we try to come back with more online events. So please keep tuning our website. Thank you watching. Thank you, and have a nice afternoon on Saturday. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.